Hi there, this is the Heir of Carthage bringing you yet another Rome Total War online battle commentary video. This is obviously being fought on the grassy flatlands map, and as you can see I'm commanding the Carthaginians once again. I guess I'm back in my element. I have 5 units of slingers up front, and I believe, yes, 5 units of Sacred Band spearmen, 4 units of Sacred Band cavalry, and 1 unit of regular elephants back in the back. I'm holding them away from his artillery. Obviously this is a elephants and artillery allowed battle, or else we'd both be breaking the rules, which wouldn't be very nice of us. So I'm getting the skirmishing started. I'm going to bring my slingers up, and I'm going to start to try and concentrate fire against his archers. My opponent also, strangely, he had a kind of a different Roman army. It was kind of fun to fight against. Didn't bring the standard stuff. He has these light auxilia here, which are javelin armed troops, and they're a little stronger than the V-lights. So he's going to bring them up to do some skirmishing, but they're going to get pretty badly beaten on the way due to all my missile fire. And during this whole time, his onagers are going to be firing into me, so I put my men in loose formation, and I'm going to ignore them. It's sometimes a good idea to just ignore artillery if you're in a position to do so. My opponent isn't using flaming mode, so I'm not going to take very massive casualties unless I stay here for a very long time. But for now I just need to do some skirmishing. And that's what I'm doing. You can see that we're both skirmishing back and forth. We're both losing some missile troops. His onagers are firing pretty much non-stop because there's 3 units of them. He has heavy onagers. So let's look at his army real quick while the skirmishing's going on. Looks like back in the back, let's see, he's got Legionary First, an early Legionary First, another early Legionary First, Legionary First, early First, Legionary First, and another Legionary First. And then right here he's got Praetorian Cavalry to help protect his onagers. Up in the skirmishing I couldn't tell how many units of each he had. Maybe you can sort it out. He had some Roman archers and some light auxilia, like I said. At first when I saw auxilia I was thinking he had a lot of archer auxilia, which means that I would have been in trouble. I think one of my opponent's problems in this battle is that he's a little bit unorganized. He's trying to move his lines around a little bit, but his skirmishing troops keep coming up in an unorganized fashion, and it gives my slingers lots of opportunity to continue to beat them without taking as many losses as they could have otherwise. So, like I said, I'm just going to keep up the skirmishing before we get the infantry fight going. I'm going to fast forward the remainder of the skirmishing real quick. Alright. My Carthaginians have grown tired of skirmishing, and I sent forward my slingers in an attempt to draw out some of his pila. Let's see if that was successful. And my opponent is very much smart enough to not throw his pila at my slingers. You don't want to do that. It's a very big waste of pila, especially when you're facing off against tough troops like Sacred Band infantry. I'm going to bring my cavalry around to my right flank, and I'm going to try and go around his lines. At least I believe I am. Looks like my cavalry are going to drag on him here. So yep, there I am trying to correct their course. I wouldn't be a very good captain if I didn't send them around the foe, but then again some of my men got locked onto his units there, and I'm telling them leave, 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 but you know how it is, sometimes they don't immediately react. So I'm going to swing around, I'm going to quickly smash into his Praetorians and deal them a death blow, and then hopefully finish off his onagers. But he's of course moving infantry to support, knowing that he doesn't have enough cavalry to win this fight. One bad move he made was moving his cavalry out a bit. This gives me the perfect opportunity to encircle them before his infantry can arrive to support. And not only this, but his infantry has gotten pulled off station from his left flank in an attempt to stop my cavalry. This is going to allow me to win the infantry fight easier on my left flank. I forgot to get these.
He is filled only by a desire to save his own skin.
Yep, so there's General, runs away. And anyway, I finally get these Sacred Band spearmen turning in to outflank here. And now I'm bringing in my elephants while he's busy elsewhere. His artillery, I'm really lucky he didn't fire his flaming missiles at my elephants. Flaming artillery will get rid of your elephants in one hit sometimes. So here I bring in my elephants, and it scares his men into routing. I didn't even have to do much there, so now I'm going to get my elephants to continue on and try and keep the rout going, make it contagious. If there's one thing that you want, is for a rout of your enemy to be contagious. Obviously you don't want that for yourself. My elephants are getting hung up towards my phalanx here. I don't want them to get killed by my own phalanx. I'm going to have to keep them moving. So I just keep my elephants charging through his men in order to try and disorganize them, but I'm going to try and keep my elephants through charging through my own men because I don't want to disrupt my phalanx line. Alright, so the fight continues. My elephants are going to continue to try and wreak some havoc. I don't exactly know what Carthage's war elephants would have looked like. I suppose some of them could have looked like this. Maybe they had some of the fancy armored kind. I really don't know, but the armored ones are almost prohibitively expensive. I can't believe my elephants haven't run amok here. My missiles are flying in. These Romans have them bogged down pretty good, and those are tough units too, the first cohorts. I just heard one of my elephants kick the bucket there. So, anyway, I try to get my elephants out of there to keep them from getting too bogged down, because I want their help still. I'd like to cause a chain rout in these Romans, so now I'm going to really close in the vice. I'm bringing my cavalry and elephants in from the rear, and I'm attempting to swing my Sacred Band infantry in to get an all-out encirclement. And it does work. The Romans start to rout, and when Legionary First units start to rout, it's not good for the morale of the surrounding units. So, his onagers are now silenced, and his infantry is routing. So basically I've obtained the victory here. It's just a matter of cleaning up his troops that are scattered throughout the map. So what did my opponent do wrong here? Well, first of all, I'm not the expert, so I don't know completely. But if I were him, I would have held one long, solid battle line to fix my infantry into place. And then I would have kept my skirmish troops behind the line so that I could do less damage with my slingers. He didn't have a lot of cavalry, which is going to be a problem. Because I had a very strong force of cavalry. He spent a lot of money on his heavy onagers, which was probably not worth it on a map like the grassy flatlands, where there's no elevation to use them from. So, like I said, those are the things that I would have done differently if I were him. He did have good, tough units, so it's quite possible that had he taken different tactics that he could have defeated my army. Also, he needed to keep his units a little bit better arrayed so that I couldn't get them bunched up like I did. Because when you have your units all bunched up coming into a phalanx, it's going to be very bad for them. So, like you can see, I'm just cleaning up the battlefield. Here's my men. They're like, yep, we did our job. Now we're going to sit around and have a smoke. Maybe some of them enjoy chewing. Tell some dirty jokes. Whatever it is that soldiers like to do in their free time. Or just hold their spear pointing up into the air, looking onward in a stoic fashion. So, in any case, enough close-ups there. So yep, this battle's pretty much over. I'm going to fast forward to the end and get you the results screen. So here we are. The final outcome of this battle was a heroic victory for me. I think it's just because my opponent had so many troops, or I guess high numbers, that it gave me a heroic victory. And anyway, I had 1,569 kills, and my opponent, Dominator, had 450 kills. And thank goodness for me, in this match, the Dominator didn't dominate me. Good game to Dominator.